Taking a look at couples and cash, Jim Uren, the financial advisor at Phase 3 Advisory Services, is here. Jim, first question, should couples pool their money together, or is it better to have separate bank accounts?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Angela. And yes, this is an age-old question. We often get asked, especially as new households are forming, should we pool our money together or maintain separate accounts? Well, some recent research in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology has shed some light on this. And what the research seemed to suggest is that in interviewing thousands of couples across several countries, those couples that actually pooled their resources together, in other words, they had joint bank accounts, for example, they had a higher satisfaction in their relationship as opposed to those couples who tended to keep their accounts separate. And so the research lately seems to suggest that, yes, there is a strong advantage in terms of relationship satisfaction in pooling those resources together.
What happens over the years with couples who have joint accounts?
Yes, that was one of the things that made this piece of research so interesting, is rather than just simply ask couples their satisfaction level, they actually track these couples for many years into the future. And what they found was also interesting, that those couples who tended to share resources, in other words, those joint accounts, we're talking over a decade later, had about a 20% lower chance of having broken up as a couple than those couples who kept their finances separately. So kind of the adage from the study, I guess, would be those couples who pay together stay together. And so there's evidence to suggest that, yes, there's a lot of benefits, both short-term and long-term, if you're a couple to share those accounts together.
Pay together, stay together. I like that. How well financially do couples wind up who keep their money together versus separate?
Sure. There's no evidence that the co-minglers do better or worse financially than one group or the other. The research is really just focused on how well the couple did relationally. So in terms of what couples want to do, it's really up to them. There was an interesting correlation in the study in that the greater the financial resources of a couple, the less benefit they receive from pooling their money. So those couples who had more scarce financial resources benefited the most, although couples at all income levels still had a relational benefit from having pooled those resources and being more financially interdependent on one another.
Last question, how well do couples do relationship-wise?
Yes, so it would seem to suggest that couples who do share their finances on a day-to-day basis basically are forced to have more interaction with one another and forced to be more dependent and have these kind of smaller conversations in terms of how money is going to be spent and how they can essentially help take care of one another and meet each other's financial needs. So I've seen that in my practice. Prior to becoming an advisor, I was actually trained as a therapist. So I have great familiarity with marriage issues, and I've seen in many cases the couples doing much better off who commingle their investments together, much happier.
Jim, thanks so much for helping us out today.
Thank you for having me, Angela. We'll talk to you later.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.